And as we approach Veterans Day, some local vets are getting much needed help.
It comes in the form of specially trained dogs.
In the first part of his special report of Vet's Best Friend, WTVO Channel 17's Bob Ryder shows us how a dog can dramatically change a life.
This is Kate. She's my special buddy.
Vietnam veteran Mark Lawrence introduces us to his new best friend, Katie. A fun-loving but well-behaved service dog, Katie is specifically trained to help Mark overcome his combat-related post-traumatic stress disorder.
She's done some things that have just turned out to be magic.
And that magic is needed. Mark served in the Army as a sergeant in Vietnam in 1969. His Rockford home was filled with paintings and reminders of the emotional impact the war has had on him.
Remembering his buddies that were fallen.
Mark had one of the toughest jobs in the Army during the war. He was called a tunnel rat because his job was to be lowered alone, headfirst into underground tunnels, armed only with a flashlight and a small shotgun, and to search for the Viet Cong. He was wounded 3 times during the war. But what was even worse, according to Mark, is the emotional damage that has been done to him as a result of the stress of combat.
Well, I started shaking in Vietnam 40 years ago, and I still have tremors from that, and the nightmares, almost every other night.
Mark has gotten psychological help in the form of counseling and medication to help deal with that combat stress, which is known as post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short. But despite years of help, PTSD has made his ability to trust others and develop relationships almost impossible. That's why Mark started to think about getting a companion dog, and when Katie eventually came into his life.
Well, it's nice to be able to have a reason to get up in the morning now. It truly is. I mean, that's one thing I've noticed.
But Katie is much more than just a companion dog. She's been specifically trained to help veterans deal with PTSD issues.
When I have my nightmares, one of the key things I like is when I have my nightmares about every other night. She'll nudge me because she sleeps at the foot of the bed. She'll hear me having my nightmares, throwing pillows or whatever I do, and she'll wake me up from the nightmares.
Katie can even help Mark take his medication.
Katie brings me my pills 3 times a day, every 8 hours, because I can't remember to take my pills.
Katie performs many crucial functions for Mark, but perhaps the most important one is life companion.
Mark says Kitty allows him to get out and socialize more, and she even protects him from people startling him from behind, which can trigger his PTSD. Their bond has grown so strong that even Katie's veterinarian has noticed it.
Told me that I've become so attached to the dog, and the dog's become so attached to me that they're worried something happens to the dog, what happens to me then? And the VA has to think about that too.
In Rockford, Bob Ryder, WTVO Channel 17 News.